So welcome back to the series. In this video, we'll be learning on how we can set up the Apache server on the virtual machine that we have deployed in the previous video, as well as setting up the PHP service on the server. So to start the video, I'll first transfer my application files onto the cloud VM. So I'll just use SFTP for this, but you can use anything that you know or you like. So I'll put the file to the remote machine. The file name is just ISS reader. So yes, now I'm onto the remote server. Next, we can exit and then log into the server through SSH. Now that we are in the virtual machine, you can see that we have the project files, which is in the zip folder, which is in the zip package. We can before we unpackage the zip file, let's configure the Apache server first. Okay, so to install Apache server on Ubuntu server, it's rather easy. We can just write sudo apt install Apache 2. Then it will start by its own, or maybe sometimes it will ask if you want to install the package or not. You can just press enter to choose yes. You can press Y first if you're not sure if it's yes or no. So after that's done. So since we have a public IP for the server, as we have installed the Apache server onto this machine, we can access the server using a browser. But before that, we need to start up the servers first. To do that, we can use sudo systemctl start Apache. Okay, so now the server should be running. Yeah, it's running. Okay, so let's try to access it. So as normally every web server serve the HTTP service through port 80. So we can just access it by just typing in the IP address in our browser. But what you will see is something more to security issues where we cannot access the web server through our browser. This is because of the IP tables or the firewalls rules that's in the virtual machine that the Oracle Cloud team have configured for us beforehand. So to solve this issue, we can use the IP tables to change or insert our own new rules into the chain. So to do that, we use sudo IP tables I so I and then input, because we don't want the connection to be initiated from our web server to another server to another server. We only want the connection from outside and be accepted by our server. And then type of protocol, which is TCP in our case. And then the destination port is 80 for HTTP. Then the action would be to accept the connection. Now, this only will not enable us to access the website, or the web server, because as you can see, the browser is still facing the same issue where we cannot access the web server from our browser. This is because in Oracle Cloud, they have a security uh, policy built into the compartment. So to fix the issue, we can go to networking, feature cloud network, then choose our compartment, go into it, select the subnet that we are using, then in here, we need to add the ingredient routes to HTTP. Choose this, then ASAT and make it stateless. And now we can access the website. This is the default web page that the Apache server will show whenever we first install the Apache tool, and there's no other files that we have configured it to show to the client. Okay, so now that we have installed Apache tool, we can now continue in moving our file from our home directory to the default folder of the Apache server, which is a folder that Apache will serve the web pages to the client. So let's go to our home directory, move the file, files to the directory of the default directory of the Apache server 2 when serving files. We need sudo here. Then let's change the directory. And as you can see, the index HTML is the page that we are seeing here. So let's delete that. Okay. So now unzip the we haven't installed we haven't installed the unzip. So we can then install the unzip package so that we can unzip the zip package. Okay, so Now it might be able to see this. Oh, finish sudo. And now, yeah, that's our files. So now let's see the page again. And as you can see, it's loaded. We allow this first. But there's one thing that's missing here. And that's the PHP. Because my application require PHP, if I visit any of the subscription here, it won't work properly. So as you can see, this is because of the HCSS, which I haven't configured, which we'll configure now. So, but before that, let's create a new user to run our Apache 2 server. So before that, let's stop the Apache server first. Okay, I'm pretty sure that the server is down now. Yeah, the server is down. So, the reason why I want to create a new users to run the Apache service is because, let's say my web application, which uses PHP, has a vulnerability where the threat actor, which people normally refer as hackers, when they found the vulnerability in my application and they somehow able to execute RC or remote code execution, and then if the user that is running the Apache service has sudo permission, then it's really dangerous, especially if the user has this kind of permission. I have all permission to run sudo s. So to create a new user, we can straight up use sudo. We will create a new user or a new group for the users for the Apache. I can spell correctly. Okay. So now sudo. Now we can create a new user. With the directory, default directory, or its directory as the default folder where the Apache will serve the web pages. Okay, so the group is Apache, and then the name. The slash, not slash, dash s, and then bin and false means that we specify nothing when someone want to log in into the server using this user, means that there won't be any shell, so he technically cannot log in using this user. So let's press enter. Okay, so now that this user has been created, okay, then uh, there's now let's change the user that's used to run the Apache service whenever we uh, start up the server. So to do that, we can sudo name. Oh wait, swim is one. Yeah, this one. So sudo vim dc Apache 2 and en, yeah, means the environment variables. So go down here, then run as ww dash down. So let's change to Apache, which is the user and the group that we have created just now. Then save it. Now let's start the Apache server back. Okay, so to see if the configuration work, you can use this. Now, as you can see, uh, the Apache 2 server is started, and you can still see that root is used to start the Apache 2. Then this process is actually used to bind to the HTTP port, and that's why is that. But then it will then spawn child processes so that it can provide other services using the user that we have specified to run the Apache service, which is the Apache user. So this proves that the configuration was a success. Now let's see the website again, and we can access the website. Okay, so before I continue and install PHP onto the server, I would like to do one more thing, which is to save the rules of the IP tables that we have configured just now. You can do that by typing sudo netfile net field filter system, and then one more save, and then the IP tables that we have configured just now will be saved. Okay, so now that's done. Let's continue to install PHP onto our server. So to install PHP interpreter onto our web server, we can just run sudo install PHP, and it will find the most suitable PHP version to install into our web server. Oh, I forgot that bit. And so it will set up everything for us. Okay. Seems that it's installed. So after installing PHP, there's one more thing that we need to do before our application can look, and that is to allow HT access, which I almost forgot. Because as you can see, the application are not working correctly. So to fix that, you can configure the Apache server to enable the HT access override. So let's go to the configuration file of the Apache tool. So if I remember correctly, it's Apache tool configuration file, and this should be the one or no. Well, since it's already written as all, you can just leave it like that. Okay, now so that the configuration file is when the allow override in the default directory is set to allow override all. You can now enable the HTSS modules for the Apache Tools server. So to do that, you can write sudo a2 en free what. Okay, so now that it's the HTSS is enabled, you can now restart the Apache Tools server. Okay, so now let's visit one of the page, and as you can see, it's okay. I'm not sure why. Oh, one more thing. Because my application requires XML, we need to also install the XML modules for our PHP interpreter. So to do that, we can run sudo apt install PHP. We need to find the version of our PHP. So just use which PHP. And that should be PHP. Yeah, our PHP version is PHP 7.4. So to install the XML modules, we can run sudo apt install PHP 7.4 then XML. And this will install the required XML modules for Apache, and not Apache, for the PHP interpreter. Let's kill that. So now let's refresh the page. Things seems to be okay. Well, let's restart the server. Oh, yeah, there it is. So as you can see, the web application is basically uh, taking the XML feed from a news website and structure them on separate pages. The application is also responsive. It's not perfect, but it's work. It work. Okay, so that's pretty much on our today's tutorial on setting up the web server to host our web application. So thank you very much for watching my video and stay tuned for the last video where we will be learning on how we can get a free domain name while configuring our website to support HTTPS protocol.